A big part of education is getting students ready to seamlessly enter the workforce, equipping them with the skills they need to be successful. But are our schools doing that? Here's more with Dr. Bertram and Tony Wagner.
In the Global Achievement Gap, you address very specific skills that you think are essential for students today to compete in this global economy. You mind elaborating on those skills?
I call them the 7 survival skills for careers, college, and citizenship. And let me be clear, these skills are in addition to what I would call the habits of heart that have always been and will continue to be foundational for any kind of learning or citizenship. I'm talking about humility, compassion, moral courage, integrity, and a strong work ethic. Those haven't changed. Let me reassure everybody on that. But in addition to the habits of the heart, there are these new capabilities, if you will, or competencies, or ones that have changed in significant ways that every young person must master leaving high school in order to be prepared for some form of continuous learning, in order to be prepared for a career, and for active and informed citizenship. Very briefly, they are critical thinking and problem solving, number one, collaboration across networks and leading by influence, agility and adaptability, initiative and entrepreneurialism, effective oral and written communication, accessing and analyzing information, and lastly, curiosity and imagination.
Those are areas that, in some respect, people see as difficult to teach. You know, but it's really about student engagement, engaging students with meaningful work, things that are relevant to their existence. But over time, what I believe we have seen is a merging, if you will, of those skills necessary, where people looked at the skills necessary for higher education and the workforce, but we're seeing those merge.
They've absolutely converged.
Yeah.
The skills, I think, for a career, the skills for continuous learning, and skills for citizenship are the same skills today. And this comes as a shock to a lot of teachers who think that preparing people for the world of work means preparing them to do drudgery, to follow orders, and so on. And that's simply radically different than what it may have been 25 or 50 years ago, when most people earned their living with ease. Now, in order to have any kind of job that pays more than minimum wage, you must have a skilled one of these.
Let's talk about your new book, coming out hopefully soon, and you're in the middle of writing this book. And you know, where things go, and where are you going to help lead us in public education? In this
well,
country?
you know, as we all have, I've become deeply concerned by the current economic crisis, and I began to just try to learn more, and I came to understand that more than 70%, nearly 3/4 of our economy has been based on consumer spending for decades. We used to make lots of things. Now we mostly buy lots of things that other people have made. So that's point one. Point two, that consumer economy has been fueled by debt. The savings rate in 2007 was -2%. Leading me to worry that at the root of this crisis may be an economy that's based on people spending money they do not have to buy things they may not need, threatening the planet in the process. I don't think that's sustainable, economically, environmentally, even spiritually, as I've suggested. I think we have to replace a consumer economy with an innovation-driven economy. We have to enable and develop the capacities of every young person to be a problem solver, to come up with better solutions to many of the pressing problems of the world, that our new product, if you will, has to be solutions to problems that the world wants to buy. Now, we do some of that to some degree, but I would suggest to you that we have been innovative in the past more in spite of our education systems than because of them. You know, I like to joke. What do Bill Gates, Edwin Land, the creator of the Polaroid instant camera, Bonnie Raitt, the folk singer, and Martin Zuckerberg of Facebook fame, all four have in common? Well, they all dropped out of Harvard to pursue their highly innovative and successful careers. So I'm asking the question, what would we have to do differently as parents to really develop our children's capacities to be innovative and entrepreneurial? What about teaching? What do we have to do differently as teachers, as employers, as mentors? How do we have to work with young people in different ways? And it's been a fascinating journey, and I'm looking forward to getting the book out.
Absolutely, we're looking forward to reading it. One final question. How do you see national state policy aligning with this type of paradigm shift in public schools that you're suggesting?
Well, sadly, I don't see it aligned. I see a lot of rhetoric, you know, a lot of politicians talk about, you know, needing more innovation and so on, but meanwhile, what are we testing? Because what gets tested is what gets taught. And we are relying almost entirely on multiple choice factual recall tests that tell us nothing about career, college, or citizenship readiness. So I really believe that we're going to have to begin to look carefully at how the rest of the world is now testing its young people, using essay-based exams, using open-ended questions which don't rely on memorization and factual recall, but rather demand that students apply what they've learned to new questions and new problems. That's why we're so far behind on international comparisons. 35th out of 57 countries in science, 39th out of 57 countries in math. Other countries are using dramatically better tests. They're not testing every kid, they're testing sample populations of kids, and that's the direction we're going to have to go. And I don't yet see the national or state will to really develop Accountability 2.0. I think it's really going to require a different kind of partnership between business and education leaders demanding a better accountability system. Neither group can do it by themselves.
Well, thank you very much for taking time with us, and again, we appreciate all you're doing for public education and the children in our country. So thank you very much.
Thanks. A pleasure talking to you as always.
Great, thank you.
And coming up next, we'll look at the issue of matching workforce needs with education and producing those innovators right here in the Evansville area. Stay with us.